We're going to come back to the minimum wage because I'm sure our viewers will have questions about that, and it's something we're going to need to talk about. But of course, in the so-called off-year or short session or whatever you refer to it, one of the principal topics is always the bonding bill. And I'd like to get some sense from our panel today what you think the size of that bill might be, what kinds of projects are likely to be included, maybe projects you think should be included, or maybe projects you think shouldn't be included. I guess we could cover that too. And maybe we'll start with the senator from the majority party, Senator Schmidt. And we'll go around the table this way. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about your view of the bonding projects and where you think this might go in this short session.
You know, I've had the opportunity to serve on the Capital Investment Committee, made my way around the state for that tour as well, and saw a lot of great ideas out there, a lot of good projects. I think we have almost $3 billion of projects identified in this state. And in my mind, the bonding bill is a great platform for a partnership between the state and local units of government or other partners. And we really have to focus, I think, on projects of regional significance, those that invest in basic infrastructure, and particularly those that have a promise of economic development return. And so I think that's going to be our focus this coming session. I know the governor's put forth his ideas in a bonding bill. One thing that I would challenge my colleagues to think seriously about is, given the fact that we have a backlog of great projects out there, interest rates remain relatively low, unemployment still a challenge in many parts of the state, we've got to get past that psychological burden of $1 billion in a bonding bill. And I think at some stage in the game, we've got to realize that the need is out there, and we've got to be able to take those tough votes and put a package together that exceeds that limit. I think anything under about $1.3 billion this year would be responsible under our state capital investment guidelines for borrowing. And I think that I would challenge my colleagues to get past that psychological burden and look at a bigger bill that would really put more Minnesotans together or to work at this time, and also invest in really good projects in all corners of the state.
Senator Benson, your thoughts?
There was a global agreement last year that the bonding bill would be just over $800 million, and I think if it focuses on projects of regional significance, I'm particularly a fan of roads and bridges. If we could focus a little more on that and a little less on, special projects that the governor has inserted in his bill, I think we would have much better luck getting bipartisan support on a bill that kept under the $1 billion mark for the biennium. Regional significance, roads and bridges, I think you'd get a lot of support, and Minnesotans would be grateful.
Just so that our viewers are clear on this, as I understand the process, bonding is a little different than other legislation in that it requires a 60% vote. Am I recalling this correctly? Mm-hmm. So it is one of those issues where there will of necessity be some across the table communication and conversation about that topic. Representative Abler?
Well, it's let me just back up a little bit about that cross-the-table discussion that we need to have. Either side, when it has the majority in either body, tends to enjoy that position it has, and it's winner-take-all sometimes. I've seen that in my now 16th year. And good laws don't happen from winner-take-all. The Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, was all one side. And people on the other side had firm convictions about it, and some of the tax bills and so on were one side. And some of us in our time have tried to find ways to bridge gaps and work together, and it's a real effort to do that. On the bonding bill, I think it's important for the majority party to recognize that some people in the minority really have strong feelings about some of the quality of projects that go in and the size, and they're interested in helping Minnesota thrive. But at the end, they just don't believe it to be true. And this is the one place in a divided legislature, or no, in an all one-side legislature, that the minority party has a say. And I hope as the process unfolds that people recognize that. And last time that wasn't recognized and a bill failed in the House unnecessarily that was not agreed to. And so people, as I've traveled the state, just in general, people want us to work together and get things done and figure it out and keep it off their back and make it solid. And the best work we've done ever in my 16 years has been when both sides have said, let's go solve this problem. Let's never mind who gets the credit. And this bonding bill, as it goes forward, as summarizing the two senators' points of view, we can get a really good bill put together if we recognize the wisdom that the legislature has and there's a collaborative spirit. That would be a nice thing.
Do you have some thoughts about specific projects that that you think should be included or not included? Or
yeah, I think it's important to really have the term regional or statewide significant. I've seen a lot of interesting projects show up in bills that are of city-wide interest to somebody's city. There was a Highway 10 is a real problem for our area between Anoka and St. Cloud, and there's a need for a bridge in the city of Ramsey, which is my district. But that happens to, it's a city need, but it's a whole corridor that's just so congested. Try to go to Aiken.
Oh, yeah.
on Friday night, and you'll, yeah. Tonight,
If you're trying to avoid 94, that's one way to do it.
yeah. So that's something we're trying to, because it actually, just uniquely, my city, Ramsey, has 4 main thoroughfares, all bisected by a train track. It has no uninterrupted, if a train comes by, the fire truck can't get there to put out the fire, the ambulance, and so everybody, this is, arguably regionally significant, and it seems popular. And everybody wants to serve their district and look after the wastewater and all that. So, but I hope that respect can rule as we go through this process on this topic, and that's what people want us to do.
Representative Dinovich?
Yeah, well, Representative Abler talked, I think very wisely about bipartisan support for projects and projects of regional significance. And in our area right now, Representative Ward and Senator Ruud, who's our partner in the Senate, we're from different parties. Representative Ward and I are Democrats. Senator Ruud's a Republican. But we just sent a letter to the governor a couple weeks ago encouraging him to take another look at the Brainerd Airport. I mean, that is certainly a project of regional significance. They've got a problem with the wastewater infrastructure, or excuse me, the water infrastructure out there right now. The fire marshal said that it's not sufficient to support an emergency situation. The Chamber of Commerce and the Economic Development Corporation up there have come together with the support of the legislators from that area. And what we'd like to see is, sewer and water brought from the city of Brainerd out along the 210 corridor there, and the reason all those partners have come together is it's not just important for the airport, but it's important for the environment around there. There's a lake that has a sensitive ecosystem, and we want to make sure that we can take those, aging septic systems off that, as well as provide opportunities for businesses to expand along the 210 corridor towards Crosby. And so I think that project, fits the bill, and that's something that we're working on as a bipartisan team to make sure that we can try and get that funded in the bill.
Other thoughts on bonding before we move on? If not, we'll move on to...
Well, just a thought in general, and I think it's important for people from one part of the state to recognize that the state is an important part of the state. And on the worst parochial days, what's my backyard, what's my little district look like? But it's important to keep outstate Minnesota, greater Minnesota, open. And some people from the metro don't get that. I've been exposed on so many times in the last 6 months, like, wow, I didn't know you even needed that out here. Right? And it's been very productive. I think if everybody could get around the state, it would be better.